We're doing an update in the hydroponic lettuce house. We've got our first farmer's market coming up in 2 days. So most of the first planting is ready for harvesting. We have the watercress here, which is done really well. Very, very thick, lots of growth. It's overhanging on all 4 ends of the tank, draping onto the tanks next to it. This, I seeded a lot heavier than I did last year, and I'm really glad that I did. It's grown just as well, but the tank has produced a lot more than it did last year. Really heavy. And I think we're going to cut and we're going to weigh and see what we get, and I think it's going to be an impressive growth. Their roots are really nice, really thick. So this is definitely ready for market. So this whole tank will get harvested. Same size as the lettuce tanks. It has a total of 24 holes that were planted in. I might even be able to, oh yeah, here. I can show the cup. There's the net cup. It's been seeded in Pro Mix. 24 cups per tank, like I said. So that's done really, really well. Next 2 tanks are Swiss Chard and Bok Choy. The Swiss Chard we're not going to harvest yet. It still has a little while to go. So that's not going to be ready for first markets. But we'll let it keep going, and it'll be ready next week, certainly. Same size, 24 holes, except our greens tanks are double the size.
Oh, show the roots.
Oh yeah, the Swiss Chard roots are cool. They're red. They're the same color as the Chard, which you really wouldn't think, but they are. Really nice. So they still have a while to go. Our greens tanks, we make double the size of the lettuce tanks. Same number of holes. It has 24 holes. Nutrient solution is twice the amount because the greens need a lot more water than the lettuce does. After that is the Bok Choy, which will be ready. At least most of them. We'll pick most of these for market this weekend. Same date on those. Those were seeded on March 25th. Really nice roots on those too. And this house has been completely unheated since they've been put in, and we were still seeing snow flurries probably 2 weeks ago. So these kind of crops, they don't mind. They don't mind the cold, and they keep going. This is our lettuce. This is what will be picked for this week's market. In fact, our red butterhead, which there are still a couple of them in here, that's this here, the red butterhead, most of them had gotten really big. So we picked those and got those into cool storage so that they didn't get overgrown. But everybody else is going to be ready. This is Mir. It's a Summer Crisp. Butterhead Rex, which has been the best one in the tanks. We did a couple other varieties, but they didn't like, usually in the heat of the summer, they would get really spread out. The Rex does really well through the whole season. New this year, we tried, this is the Salanova, which we had never grown before, and it's done just fine in the tanks. The heads are really nice and dense. It really does grow a nice lettuce head. These were planted the week before the greens. These were March 18th that the lettuce was seeded. So these, right now, these lettuce heads are about 7 weeks old. And they are completely ready to go to market this weekend. We have a couple of other, also a new one. This is a mini Romaine. It fits in nice with the rest of the lettuce. It can keep to its own space within the tanks and not overcrowd. A full-size Romaine tend to get a lot bigger than the other ones, and it'll crowd or it'll get tall and it'll fall over in the hydroponic tanks. So the mini ones are really nice. They fit in well with everybody else. So this is all ready. These tanks on the other side as well. These are all going to be ready for harvest for our farmers markets this weekend. And then you can see as you step down, these are the next guys. They were planted a week after. And because they pretty much double every week, these will explode. They'll very quickly grow. And again, with the greens, again, you can see the tanks from the following plantings across on the other side. And we've kept going across the house each week. We're seeding. Each week we're planting into the tanks so that every week we have fresh greens ready for the market. With a nice assortment of lettuce. We have an assortment of colors, textures, so that we've got what everybody's looking for. you want to show the arugula? I did do 1 tank of arugula. As you can see, although the growth is great, there is some yellowing to it. And we're thinking the problem with that is the cold temperatures. It was very, very cold when all these greens got started, and the arugula just doesn't care for the cold. So we'll take these out. We'll replant with something else. We'll do arugula again now that the weather's getting warmer, and it's going to do much better. While the flavor of it is actually fine, but with that yellow texture, of course, you don't want to sell that. But that's easy to just take out and replant with something new and just keep on going. And we'll have more of that. We'll do that later in the summer. It'll do fine. So that's about it. We'll probably do another update soon. We've got the tomato house, which was planted a few weeks ago. The tomatoes are taking off. They're really growing great. And we even have some early varieties that are starting to get small tomatoes. Again, this is the first week of May. And we are getting some small tomatoes already on our plants. And many of the other ones, even the regular beefsteak varieties, are loaded with flowers. So we're going to see tomatoes forming pretty soon. We'll do an update in that pretty soon and show the plants and see how everything's going in that house.